Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your mid-October 2017 tarot card reading. So this is October 15th through the very beginning of November. I've already shuffled and meditated on your sign, so let's just dive right in. So I'll start by reading from these two animal cards that I drew for you. I'll start by reading them from the book, and then I'll give you my intuitive 2 cents. So we have, for these next couple of weeks, the bee, and mirrored by the gazelle. And I've been doing the Celtic cross, but for Gemini, I sort of wanted to do a different, lay it out in a different way. So I want to show you what I'm looking at here. So there's sort of this mirroring here that's happening between these two cards. They're looking at each other from across the way is what it looks like. So let's go ahead and do this. The bee, overarching thematic energies to keep in mind as we move through the rest of the spread. I may have already said that, but here we go. And I am aware of, so we have air, Gemini, and then we have fire. So there's this combination of air and fire over these next few weeks. So here we go. B, earnest, hardworking, democratic. The bee personality is a delight to be around, especially when there's a team project on the horizon. Bees love to work steadily and thoughtfully until the final task is complete. They are sensitive creatures, aware of many subtleties at once. Since they're artists at heart, they usually add creative details to the overall vision. For the most part, they have bustling, joyous personalities until they're too tired from all the work. Then they gripe and then sting. When in balance, content, active, vibrant, and when out of balance, overworked, annoyed, and to bring into balance, mini vacation. Okay. And the gazelle. It's like the bee is looking right over here at the gazelle, and the gazelle, there's this awareness between these two cards that's very strong. This awareness of the other, of one another. So, gazelle, heightened awareness and ability, vulnerable. The gazelle represents supreme grace. With every move, this awe-inspiring beauty emits sophistication and elegance. Gazelle personalities are often hyper-aware of their surroundings, bordering on hyper-vigilant, which can inhibit them from enjoying the beauty they've spent so much effort cultivating. No more worrying about all those predators out there in the wild. When this card appears, it's time to get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your breath, and acknowledge the bounty that surrounds you. Let it nourish your gentle spirit. When in balance, graceful, perceptive, artistic. When out of balance, food allergies, insomnia, racing mind. To bring into balance, yin yoga, a cozy home, good food. So, yes, there's this awareness happening between the bee and the gazelle, and I heard this, you could be one or both of these characters, but I do feel like for many of you, these feel like two different characters. You're one, and then there's another. And there is this dynamic between these two where there's some sort of common ground that is being sought after, I just heard. Or there's a common purpose, a common interest is what it feels like. There's a common interest, which is sort of amplifying this common interest, that amplifying their awareness, this awareness between these two. And I'm hearing typically with this one, this, there is this strong artistic nature coming from both of these cards, this creativity, and a lot of work energy, especially there's this busy, busy bee energy. And there's this focus on work. And with the gazelle, there is sort of this. I'm feeling with both of these cards actually that there's an awareness of how you're showing up to the workplace, to your creative workplace, how you're showing up to your space, and how you're viewed, the image of you, sort of how you're projecting yourself out into the world. And this more sensitive experience of yourself that's happening internally. So there's there's a dynamic there. There's a duality there a bit that I feel many of you are experiencing. Okay, let's go ahead and just keep this in mind. I'm sure that we're going to touch back on these two cards, but let's just move through the rest of the spread here. So, anchoring the spread, we have the Ten of Cups. This feels like dreams coming true. This feels like, there's something about this recollection, this understanding that there was something quite, you're coming from something that has a lot of worth and a lot of good to it. And there's this dream of what you want that is sort of anchoring your actions at this point in time. And there's this feeling here of pouring it all out to look at it. And Aries has a similar energy here. But I feel like this is speaking to simplifying things. And with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, there is this simplifying, this matter of simplicity and creating anew. So there's sort of this culmination energy here that we're coming with the Ten of Cups. So something has been completed. Something has been, there is a resolution that is, that I feel there's some sort of resolution that you either underwent or you're in the midst of undergoing. And I just heard it feels connected to the home for some of you. And it could also be connected to the home. So your internal sense of home. And now there is this looking at your work and what that means to you, the purpose of your work. And I'm noticing this trunk here, this tree trunk. So there's this connected to the Pentacles energy, that earth energy, that manifestation energy, this energy that's speaking to fiscal stability. So there's this awareness of cultivating a new sense of stability for yourself. And we have the Death card reverse over here in recent past, and I feel that this has been a change. This has been a big change. And under that, we have the Son of Wands and the Tower. So yes, change or something that's really shaken your sense of stability. And there's this climbing energy. So the image that I'm getting is sort of climbing, and then it's like everything's crumbling, everything comes crumbling around you to a degree, but you're still hanging on, and it's now like it's almost the environment around you comes crumbling down, but you're still at this sort of this height, this state of this you're higher up, this higher perspective or this higher standing. And as things sort of crumble down around you, you have this new perspective, and you're sort of looking at all this space and this possibility because you've elevated yourself somehow. And this could be literal. This could be a literal climbing of the ladder, or it could just be this perspective that you've cultivated for yourself. And although the ground has shook, it's looking at things from this higher perspective. And this awareness that you're moving through this change from this higher perspective. And you're getting busy. You're getting busy around building. And there's also, here in the recent past, we have the Mother of Swords, which I feel is deeply connected to the Son of Wands. And there's this feeling that the Mother of Swords is sort of holding something over the Son of Wands. There's a sense of authority to a degree that this character has over the Son of Wands. And the Mother of Wands reversed came out as well, and I feel that this is a matter of legacy and family. This could be a literal family dynamic that I'm looking at. And this character or this project, this creative fire wands represent a creative project, this could be that common interest between these two. And there's this tension. I just heard entrapment for some of you, and I hope not, but there's this feeling of releasing yourself from some sense of, I just heard contractual agreement, or this interwoven interconnectedness. There's this liberation coming up, this liberation energy, but it feels sensitive and tender, and it's sort of shaking and quaking that sense of stability, what you have equated in the past with home, with what is safe and sound. So there's this shakeup that's happened, but there's still this dream of total fulfillment, of needs met, and emotional satisfaction. And I feel that there are conversations around exactly this. So there are these conversations that are being had as a way to buoy your faith, as a way to buoy your hope. And this energy here is I feel like incredibly supportive, incredibly nurturing. And it's serving as a foothold forward. And there's this look, this analyzing of the possibilities. And structurally, how to support those possibilities. Again, this growing, like what you're growing something anew. And so there's this awareness of creating a structure the right way this time, I just heard. So there's this awareness of foundation and blueprint. And it's almost as if when looking back on the past, there was something faulty in your foundation. And you're now going and readdressing that. You're looking forward and saying, how can I structurally create a foundation for myself that supports the person I want to become, that will support and sustain the life I'm building from here on forward. And the moon is coming up under I'm on the right side here under the Ace of Pentacles, which with the Son of Cups. And there's this inspiration. There is this new sense of inspiration coming in, this new information that incoming. I just heard. So there's literal sort of new opportunity, new possibility, new potential incoming that you are aware of, really creating a solid foundation for in order to support and sustain. And it feels, I just heard, a bit of a dark night of the soul to a degree. So there feels like there is this moments of true emotional rawness. So where perhaps you were met with resistance, personal resistance in the past and sort of making change, it's like you're like, I'm not messing with that anymore. Like I don't mess with change. Like change is coming. I'm embracing this. This is the way this is. So what are these steps forward? And the world, life wants to change. I'm going to change with it. So I feel like I'm looking at a matter of evolution here. There's this evolution happening. And then we have, this is so amazing, the Father of Wands. At the crown of your reading, this is carrying you into this next period of time here, these next couple of weeks, and into November. And the Father of Wands, there's this immense wisdom. And there's this feeling from this card of really harnessing your own power and wielding this wand for yourself confidently. So there is this progression. And despite disappointment, despite sort of where you've been let down in the past, what's still tender inside, you're not hiding from any of that. And there's this new way, it's this coming out of your shell, it's this showing up in the world in a way that feels more fully connected to who you truly are and who you are becoming. Putting on a new suit, I just heard. So there is this sort of shedding of an old skin and embodying this new version of yourself. And the Seven of Wands, it's this energy that it's in this near future, it's sort of at the crown of the reading as well, guiding you forward. And it's a matter of faith, I just heard. And I can't do anything but this. So forward is the only way. And there's this call, there's this calling energy. So a call to action, a call from spirit, I just heard. So there is this this standalone energy. This, even if everyone else can't see it, perhaps, I know I am following this very unique and deeply embedded sense of essential purpose, personal purpose. And you're following that light forward. Devoutly, I just heard. So there's this devotion to your cause, and there's this devotion to that higher purpose, that higher calling. So the Hanged Man and the Nine of Cups, I'm feeling that emotionally there's some area where you feel like your hands might be tied a bit. And then the Star, which is coming up right under those two cards, it's again, we're looking at this higher perspective where sort of there's this treading water with something a bit. So there's this waiting period. There's this treading water. The cups, we have water, and then we have this hanged man, looking forward so stoically, just sort of hanging there. So there's this waiting energy, and it feels as though, again, this it's a matter of faith, and that everything is going to sort itself out. There's also this awareness of the synchronicities of how things are working together. And it's almost as if you've seen this happening. You've seen sort of things are just working out, somehow they're working out, is what it feels like. So it's almost like you've practiced this enough to where throughout this period, the areas where you're feeling like this isn't quite figured out, I don't quite know how this will sort itself out, there's this allowing nature to this process and this feeling cared for by the synchronicities. And there's this emotional uncurling, I just heard. There's this emotional uncurling, which is beautiful because it feels like you're sort of looking at all that's coming up. And you're honoring that, I just heard. And we have the Emperor reversed. So I just heard your roots run deep. So this card, and this is a beautiful way to sort of sum this up, it feels as though as we're moving into November, there's this remembrance of your true core strength. And this remembering, and I forget what sign it was, but there's a sense of remembering who you truly are. And you're digging deep. You're digging deep. And there's this rising up and out of the thick of it, I just heard. So you're through the thick of it. You're rising up and out. And there is sort of this wing-like energy. There's this sort of this wingspan. So there's this elevating nature to the next couple of weeks, this rising up, and it does feel quite like a phoenix-like energy with this card. So I'd say just continue moving forward to stay hopeful, and there is this real transformation taking place. There's this real transformation of your environment and of your own personal energy, and this transformation of your identity, your personal identity. So, so I'm sending you all my love, and I'm wishing you the best. And I hope that this was helpful. Do check out your sun and your sun, moon, and rising, because these are such general readings. So if you can watch your rising or your moon sign along with your sun, that'll give you a much more holistic reading that is personal according to your own natal chart. So do check those out. Please like, subscribe, comment. I'm so grateful for all of your kind comments. I'm sending you all of my love, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.